I've been walking through the redwoods this morning, listening with my ears, with my heart, with my body, tuning in to the element of air as well as the element of earth. Tuning in, coming into attunement with the tonalities present within the air, tonalities in the form of sound as well as in the form of tangibility, which they subtly carry invisibly, but which can be sensed and felt within the body. These tonalities coming not only from the air itself, but from the air's interactions with the other elemental embodiments, such as that bird, such as this urban creek, stream, sonorous rivers of aerial being. And what came through earlier, which felt important to note, maybe you've seen the message of my transmission about the waters, an ocean containing crystalline networks of salt, being a network of telepathic communication for ocean beings. And I sensed and felt and heard something similar within the aerial substance that flows like currency between the trees. And I'm not speaking of false currency such as the ones of our dying world, wherein the banks control the currency and the liquidity and the flowing of money. I'm not talking about that currency. I'm talking about the currency of innate reciprocity, wherein I take a breath and I give a breath. I receive a breath from the trees and I breathe it out and they receive it back, and it is seamless. It is free. It is unconditional. It is innate. And it is mutually expansive and amplifying, and life-nourishing and life-sustaining. Self-reliant, beautiful, harmonious, divine. The true currency of the earth, which we carry within our hearts. I digress. This aerial substance of breath and air that flows between the trees and its beings, not simply the trees, all of the vegetation, all of the rock persons, all of the minerals, all of the creatures, all of the humans, all of the micro-instantiations of divine being. Though it be invisible to our naked eyes, this breath, this air is filled with particles, with certain energetic charges. These ripples of sound emanating from the gurgling stream, they have a physicality to them within the sonorous wavelength of being. And each sound, such as the sound of the leaf that just dropped behind the screen, such a subtle, silent little sound. Every sound is a spherical ripple of geometric light. sound light within the electromagnetic wavelength spectrum. Thus swimming in aerial geometric perfection, emanating the breath of Creator, enmeshing itself lovingly, hierogamically, with the breath of Mother Earth. Divine harmony of divine masculine and feminine. The blueprint of life itself. And in working with this aerial element, also tuning in to the earthly element and feeling and noting that such charges, such communicative networks between the roots of the beings that inhabit the soil, the plants, the trees, whose root networks interact with the mycelium, interact with the life-giving soil itself, the self-renewing soil of life. All of this is also a telepathic network of sorts, a communication network of love and care. It's like, it's like the earth will sense, oh, here, there's this being that needs this. Let us send a pulsation of care so that we can hold that being. I envision like a poor, I don't know why I say poor, just a being that is passed on in the forest, a carcass of a rat or a mouse or a squirrel that has been left there. And the earth, the soil, the roots, the mycelium, they all know, oh, there is something here that needs to be received and held back, returned into the eternal loving presence that we co-constitutively co-create. And if a tree feels sick, all the other trees in the forest are going to say, oh, we must go nourish this tree, we must go heal this tree. We must go be here for this tree. We are here together in this forest. And we wish to maintain harmony and symbiosis innately, without questioning, without like oh, well, what's in it for me, you know? Without like, are you gonna pay me $10? Are you gonna pay me $11.11 for that? I am now charging $444 for my heart chakra rebalancing course. The trees are laughing at us. Not to say that within the reality that we're living in, money is present. So, if one provides value and the means of exchange is money, then it is aligned with the harmonious state of things, the innate harmonious state of things, to be in reciprocity and reciprocal exchange with someone's offerings. If they're offering their gift, they will receive abundance in return. It is natural. But those who then operate from a place of disharmony and greed and like mine, and self-centeredness, those are the ones that the trees are laughing at. And in some sense, and the earth and the breath and the air and their interactions with also water and fire and ether. They constitute this seamless, co-creative emanation of perfection. And those seamless whispers of perfection which are contained within the breaths exchanged between the trees and myself are themselves the natural currency system. Presenting itself phonetically by way of breath, by way of sound, by way of ethereally imbued substance of air, to say, I am here. I am here. All around. There is no place that we will walk upon the earth unless they've created some kind of weird vacuum where this breath is not present, where this breath which contains the trees and the forests themselves who have been breathing these breaths for thousands of years, and which contain the breath of Creator and Mother Earth together converging in this pyrogamic union of vivacious becoming. There's nowhere on earth that does not contain the breaths. Now, there is, within the mirror of my being, the reflective ripples of that breath presenting themselves to me in the discourse that they're pouring forth from my being with me as their muse. This contrast between the currency systems, this innate reciprocity of breath between the living beings of the earth, who naturally support one another and support the earth and the waters and the fire and the air, and that convergence into union, grace, and ethereal sovereignty. There being something disharmonious, there being something of a tension within my microcosm of being. Something of a, I have my beef, I have my my troubles, I have my polemical desires for warfare. With the inverted systems of currency, which are specifically designed and predicated upon the confinement of that innate system of reciprocity, the attempt to suppress it and to control it, and to thus suppress and control the very sovereignty contained within that exchange of breath and elemental convergence. There is an anger. There is something of a divine rage. of Mother Earth feeling these confinements being imposed upon her, and her bringing out the Kali energies and be like, you can't confine me, except more wrathfully and like volcanic eruptions, tsunamis, floods, hurricanes, to come be like, I'm gonna come destroy all this shit. Like, you guys think this actually like will last? That's a little bit present in pondering and feeling into that false system of currency. But what is more present is the serenity of the breath itself, its stillness, its pure and simple being, and its invulnerability. The way that it cannot actually be truly impacted by the systems of false currency. The systems of false currency thrive upon the beliefs which we attach to them, and with the creative breaths which we feed to it. Because fundamentally, we are that innate reciprocity of being. It's not that we have access to it. It's not that we are able to conjure it. It's that fundamentally that is what we are. That is the truth of our being, of our souls, of our soulful embodiments, microcosmic, of the divine hierogamy between divine masculine and feminine, between the breath of Creator and meshing itself, dancing with the breath of Mother Earth. We are that being. You are that being. I am that being. We together are that being. We individually are that being. I am this forest speaking to you, much as I was speaking earlier of the water, the ocean rising into rain, raining down into the vegetation bearing the fruit that I consume that becomes the flesh of my flesh. It is literally the water becoming my body. So too does the breath, filtered through the trees and the leaves of the forest, become my breath and become my being. Such that when I feel this conflict within myself on behalf of the earth and on behalf of all human beings, this wrath, this rage that wants to shake up and destroy the false systems of currency, there is one end of the spectrum which feels this rage and this wrath, but there's also this other end of the spectrum, which is the absolute stillness, this serenity, this peace. This stillness and this clear and direct knowing that, like, I can shake up things all I want. I can come and try to destroy things all I want, and that will have its uses where it is necessary. But it doesn't have to be a struggle. It doesn't have to be war. It can simply already be peace, and I can walk through the world as that peace.